Grow 'em Big with Steve Bartilla. Brought to you by Huntworth and these other fine sponsors.
We really are helping whitetails and wildlife a ton through farm crops, through our food plots, through feed blocks, through truly well put together feeding programs, mineral supplements, all that stuff. That all helps immensely. But we keep ignoring the obvious, and that is all the food that Mother Nature goes ahead and makes available to us. All we have to do is go ahead and do our best to squeeze a little bit more blood out of that turnip. The obvious that I talk about a decent amount here, for good reason, is chainsaws in your timber. Remember, a whitetail's world is about from here down to the ground. The stuff that's up above that, it impacts them, but nowhere near as much as from here down. So when we're leaving all those tops laying out there, instant food until they dry out, and at the same time, instant cover. And then there's other things we can do as well. Look at that meadow out in the middle of the woods. You know what? You go ahead and apply some lawn fertilizer to it, and oftentimes you can go ahead and increase the production, make it that much more palatable, all that good stuff. You go out there and mow areas every so often. Do just the same with your timber. You want to reset, you want to get a nice big boost of new food, go out there and cut it. Generally speaking, greens go through certain desirability stages. When they're first popping out of the ground, they are so incredibly easy to break down, it's not even funny. And then they hit that rapidly growing state. Now they're just mature enough that the nutrient value in it is pretty darn high, and it's highly digestible. But as you start getting to the mature stages, those cell walls, they actually thicken, and they become much more difficult to digest. At the same time, oftentimes their nutrient content start going down. All right, remember, it does not matter how high in nutrients something is. This hat right here, let's pretend it's 100% protein. You eat that hat, you're going to get no good out of it whatsoever because you can't digest it. Because those cell walls are getting so much thicker as those plants mature, they get harder to digest. Okay, so that rapidly growing state is about ideal for all greenery out there when it comes to nutrition and how easy it is to break down, how palatable it is. Simply cutting that does a world of good. You know what else does? Fire. Fire, and again, this is very much like the chainsaws. If you're not comfortable with fire, do not go out and start lighting up your woods, because next thing you know, you just burnt down the neighbors, and now you're in trouble. If you are comfortable, or if you hire somebody that is, running a fire through that meadows, goes ahead and fertilizes it and reboots it. Same with the woodlots. As a matter of fact, there's certain species that can't even grow without fire. Now that's not so prevalent here in the Midwest, but fires are a very, very powerful tool for rebooting that food source. And lastly, frost seeding is a beautiful thing. All you do is go out and throw some clover seed on top of the frozen ground. If there's a couple inches, heck, if there's a foot of snow, as long as it's not sloped hard and it's not going to be flooding, you just throw it out on, you just go through and top seed right on top. And what I do is I suggest top seeding at 125% the going rate. Now, are you going to get, if you go out into a meadow and top seed clover into it, are you going to get as good of regrowth and germination rates as you do on last year's honey hole plot that you're doing it now, where you got all that dirt just laying underneath the snow? No, you will not get anywhere near as good a germination rates throwing it into that overgrown meadow. But you're gonna very, very, very likely get a decent amount. So now that meadow has all those natural foods in it plus it's kicking out clover as well. Just remember, farm crops, food plots, minerals, artificial feeding, they are all outstanding tools that help us take things up a very significant notch. But these whitetails were thriving before we ever even got here. Okay? Mother Nature can feed these animals. And you know what? We give her an assist and she can feed them that much more.
Final thoughts, brought to you by Huntworth.
As powerful as farm crops and food plots are, Mother Nature can deliver for us. We get out there and we reboot those woods. We reboot those meadows with chainsaws, with mowers, with fire. Throw some fertilizer in on those meadows and natural food sources. Go ahead and remove the competition from the species that you want to thrive. Do some frost seeding and all of a sudden your habitat is feeding those whitetails exceedingly effectively. And remember, no matter how much artificial food we put out, no matter how many plots we put out there, they're always going to eat more of what Mother Nature provides than we do if given the chance. Let's give them the chance.